Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. So, Joel Felix in the end has ended up going at Chelsea. In this video, I want us to dive into everything that happened in this deal. Why did he end up going at Chelsea? Why did Arsenal decide to walk away from that deal? Although he had agreed personal terms with the player, and George Mendes was also very much aware that we wanted to sign him in January. Now, there are a few people who have actually come into my inbox telling me, Cossy, this is actually becoming very desperate times for Arsenal. We are very frustrated. And though that, I think Arsenal are really trying to do whatever they can. It's still early days in January. It's 10 days into the month. I don't think any club that has not done any business is actually lazy. It's a difficult month. We've talked about it before. Mikel Arteta again yesterday reiterated the same thing, that he has a very small squad. He wants to work on a few signings in January, but they're never going to be easy. The Modric deal is actually dragging on. We have a couple of other deals that are also dragging on. I've seen Danilo as well now, Nottingham Forest talk about him, and a few other things. So it's a very difficult month, and I want us to dive into that Joel Felix deal so that you understand what exactly happened and what Arsenal are planning after that deal. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 400 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We're very close to 63,000 subscribers. Now, the first thing for us to not here in this deal is that Atletico Madrid always wanted a high fee in terms of a loan deal, and they never wanted to sell with an obligation or option to buy, and that is what Arsenal didn't want. So Atletico Madrid had their own terms and conditions for the deal. They wanted a club to come in and pay the whole wages of Joel Felix until the end of the season. And after doing that, the player should be able to go back and play with Atletico Madrid. So it has been a war between Joel Felix and Diego Simeone, with a few sources actually including and indicating that Diego Simeone could be leaving Atletico Madrid by the end of the season. And that is why Chelsea have signed him on 11 million euros for 6 months, paying his whole wages. And what is quite fascinating here is that the player actually extended his contract with Atletico Madrid until 2027. Now, there are two things here. One, you're talking about a player who literally wants to be out of the club, a player who despises Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone. If he was going to leave, if he was going to go to another club without any assurances that the manager is going to leave, there was no way he was signing a new deal with Atletico Madrid. There was no way he was extending a new deal with Atletico Madrid. So Madrid have been very smart in this deal, and I think Arsenal have been smarter on the other side. We're going to talk about it, why Arsenal didn't sign Joel Felix. So Atletico Madrid have gone, there is a wall, a dressing room wall between Diego Simeone and Joel Felix. But Diego Simeone has chances of leaving the Metropolitano or wherever their stadium is in the summer. So they've gone, Joel Felix can leave for 6 months, and then when Diego Simeone leaves in the summer, then he comes back, we find a new manager, we build a new project around him. They've never wanted to sell him in the first place. They wanted him gone, of course. There's no question there. They wanted him gone. The manager wanted him gone. The fans actually wanted him gone because of the dressing room stress he's been causing and the split that he's been causing in the dressing room. But apart from that, the board at Atletico Madrid actually want the player and they want to keep him. And they told him the only way you're leaving is by signing a new deal until 2027. Who the fuck does that? So Arsenal have been very smart here. One, they've looked into it. First and foremost, there is no club that pays 11 million euros a loan fee for a player who's not even in form for Atletico Madrid. That is number one. But then number two, 11 million euros without a buy obligation or even an option to buy. That is desperate. That is absolutely desperate. And I've been looking at the Chelsea situation, and I'm asking myself, with Christopher Nkunku at RB Leipzig, he is your player now. With players like Konrad Laimer running out of contract, with players like Wilfried Zaha running out of contract in the summer, I don't understand. I still don't understand how Joel Felix, as an 11 million euro quick fix, make sense to them. I don't understand, because for me and Arsenal, it doesn't make any sense. Mikel has already made it very, very clear with Edwin and a few people handling transfers at Arsenal. We want to bring in players that have a long-term impact on our project. We want to bring in players that we see are going to be here for some 5-6 years, help us win titles, keep on improving, and just make Arsenal great again. Joel Felix, for 6 months, is a good signing, because when he comes in, he replaces Gabriel Jesus and all that, but not for 11 million euros without an obligation to buy. Not for 11 million euros without an option to buy. And what is worse here is that Arsenal would have had to pay all the wages of the player for those 6 months. That is what Chelsea are doing. It's a ridiculous deal. It's a deal that I would never recommend my team to do. So according to David Onstein and Freddie Paxton, this was Arsenal's idea about this deal, and this was our structure, until Atletico Madrid said that your structure is not in our plans and we're not planning in the same direction. Number one, Arsenal wanted to get Joel Felix on a 6-month loan deal at around 5 million euros in a loan fee, and we were happy to negotiate with Jorge Mendes so that the player's salary actually comes down. Now, that is what you call business. That is what we call sensible transfer business. If a player is leaving Atletico Madrid for 6 months, for me, 4 million euros is enough. 5 million euros is enough. A maximum of 6 million euros in terms of a loan fee, which includes covering for taxes and everything. That is enough. But according to what I'm hearing, Chelsea have paid 11 million euros. Will take care of taxes and the players' wages. In no way, as an Arsenal fan, am I supporting that. I mean, I love Arsenal and I want us to win the title, and maybe we are on the right track, and maybe Joel Felix could become a Dejan Kulusevski kind of signing for Spurs, like what Kulusevski did for Spurs, and becomes a revelation of a signing for Chelsea. I don't have any problem with that. The deal is just ridiculous. It has been very, very selfish from Atletico Madrid. They are not considering any other party's feelings, any other party's, benefits from this deal. It is only about them. We want to keep the player. We want the money, and you have to pay his wages, and he will never be your player. Literally, that is so damn selfish. So that is number one. Arsenal are never going to pay 11 million euros, and we were only willing to pay around 5 million euros. Talk to the player's agent, maybe calm his wages down and his salaries down, and then we would have got the deal done for a 6-month loan deal. Now, the other thing is that Arsenal also wanted to sign Joel Felix later in the summer. That is what we wanted. We wanted him to come at Arsenal, be here for 6 months, with an option or obligation to buy for 75 million pounds. Now, there is no question here that under Graham Potter and Mikel Arteta, or even Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp, for me, Joel Felix will be a success. I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't see him flop, whether at Chelsea or Manchester City or Liverpool. He's such a talent. The moment he gets into those right environments, the moment he gets into a team that creates those right spaces, those right kinds of situations, he's going to become a monster in the Premier League. And I know Chelsea do have the ability to do that. You look at their midfielders, Kovacic, Jorginho, they have the ability to progress the ball into the final third, and that is where Joel Felix wants it. He wants that ball in the final third, delivered on the silver plate in the final third. He's able to make magic happen. He's a magician who can actually make things happen out of the blue. But Arsenal wanted to sign him, and that was very, very crucial. We wanted a deal that included that Arsenal can sign him either for 75 million pounds, an obligation, or 75 or 80 million euros, an option. We wanted that, and Atletico Madrid never wanted that, and that is something that doesn't make any sense. Why would I, groom a player for you for 6 months, and I paid money to groom that player for you, and then eventually you either sell him to another club? Just imagine if we had actually taken him for 6 months, he's done very well, and then they agree a deal with Chelsea on a permanent deal. That would be absolutely ridiculous. So Arsenal have seen that before, and they've gone, okay, this is shit. This is ridiculous. We are not entering into that phase. We're not going to do such stupid business. So the reason that's why Joel Felix has actually non-signed for Arsenal is typically because of the ridiculous terms and conditions. There's something with Manchester United. If you've been watching any Manchester United fan channels, if you've been following me on Twitter and TikTok and everywhere, I've said it. There is no Arsenal. There is no way Arsenal were going to agree to such ridiculous terms and conditions. It doesn't make any sense. But then the big question right now is it time for Arsenal to panic? Is it time for Arsenal fans to panic? Now, there are a few people who have been in my inbox trying to talk to me on Twitter, reacting on Twitter and WhatsApp as well. And they're telling me, simply telling me, Cossy, we are frustrated. It is 10 days into the window and we have signed no one. Arsenal are possibly not going to sign anyone. Now, I understand where the transfer frustration is coming from, because Man United are close to agreeing a deal with Wout Weghorst. Chelsea have signed 2 players now. Liverpool have signed Cody Gakpo, and a few other deals actually happening. Wolverhampton Wanderers have also done some successful business. And in some way, shape or form, you feel that Arsenal is being left behind in this window. Should we be desperate? No. Should we be a little bit frustrated? I would say probably, because things are actually moving at a very, very slow pace, especially when it comes to the Mikhail Modric deal. But this is what I want to say. And I'm saying this in my own opinion. You can have your own opinion in the comment section. I really, really, care. I really care about your opinions, right? So I think Arsenal know what they want in this January transfer window. And it is not 5 signings. It is not 10 signings. It is not even 3 signings. Mikel Arteta has already kept on saying, we have a small squad. We have short numbers. And what it means is that I want new players, okay? And he has said we cannot afford to lose any transfer window. We cannot afford that luxury. But the truth of the matter here is Arsenal are not going to sign 3 players in January worth 30 or 40 million euros. We have a very, very small amount of money to work with, and it's around 50 million pounds in January. Around 50 million pounds. It's two-way. It's either we sign a midfielder and an attacker. So that means if you're signing a midfielder and an attacker, then you'd be going for a player like Marcus Thuram for 10 million or 20 million euros. And then the rest of the money you splash it on either Yuri Tillemans or Danilo. Or Arsenal get their priority signing of January. I would love to get your thoughts here. Should Arsenal focus on Mikhail Modric only with the budget we have, or should we split it into 2, go and invest some in the midfield and then go and invest some as well, go and invest some as well, on the forward line? I would really, really love to know. I would really, really love to, to hear from you, right? So the frustration here, guys, comes in the fact that Arsenal are not going to try to chase anyone and everyone in January. Arsenal will try to get the priority signing, and that is Mikhail Modric. That has been said by Romano, Ornstein, Freddie Paxton, Cossy, and whoever is an authority. Charles Watts, Goal.com, and everyone who feels they have they're an authority to speak about this one. Arsenal's priority is Mikhail Modric. And that's the player they want. And it's a high money move, and it's a very, very big money move. It's going to take time. It's not going to be that easy. It's going to require a lot of patience. There are no timelines. There are no time scopes. There is nothing. There are no deadlines in this deal. Negotiations are still continuing. We are still hoping that now that Chelsea have gotten Joel Felix, they might be out of the way for the Mikhail Modric deal. If they continue pressurizing us on Mikhail Modric, I will be very, very fascinated. I'll be very, very I will be so envious of Chelsea that they have Todd Bolly. The fact that he has brought in Balache and then Felix, and then he's trying to sign Marcus Thuram, that only is very, very decent. That is pretty much very, very decent, right? But like I said, I don't see Mikhail Modric going to Chelsea. It's a deal that I don't see happen. I don't see him staying at Shakhtar. It's a deal. It's something that I don't see happen as well. I think he will sign for Arsenal sooner or later. So don't be very frustrated. don't be desperate. It's 10 days into the window. Next weekend, we take on Spurs. That is what we've got to focus on. Do we have the numbers to beat Tottenham Hotspur? In my opinion, we absolutely do. Do we have the squad to beat Manchester United after Tottenham Hotspur? We do. Do we have the squad to beat Brentford and Everton? We do. Do we have the numbers to beat Manchester City? Probably we do not, right? And for me, Mikhail Modric coming out Arsenal changes much, especially in games that are going to be very, very tight, and we'll need that extra bit of quality to separate the two sides. But, and I'm going to say this, but I don't see him as a player that should come in as Jesus. He doesn't come in to perform miracles. He's coming in to add to that layer of quality that we actually already have. If he comes in, do we win Spurs? I think we can actually beat Spurs with or without Mikhail Modric. We can beat Manchester United with or without Mikhail Modric at the moment. So I'm not desperate. Don't be desperate as well. The Joel Felix deal was undesirable for Arsenal, and that's why we didn't do it. It was undesirable for Manchester United, and that's why they didn't do it either as well. Chelsea are desperate, and I don't want you guys to be quite on the same level as Chelsea. Chelsea are sitting halfway the Premier League table. They're looking at no Europa League football, no UEFA conference football, no UEFA Champions football, no trophy this campaign, okay? So you cannot be on the same level as Chelsea. They've been pumped out of the FA Cup by Manchester City, so they have no signs of playing the FA Cup. They have no signs of winning the Premier League. They have no signs of winning the UEFA Champions League as well. So at this moment, all they have to do and all they've got as Chelsea is to maybe secure what? Top 6, top 7. So I don't think we are at the same level as Chelsea. They are desperate and they're acting as a desperate club. Just want to have my say on that. And then the regular shows will be back tomorrow. I'll see you then.